So you guys, of course, remember this. We'll just take a look at it briefly so to clue you in. So the big predictors seem to be industriousness, emotional stability, agreeableness if you're working with people, and disagreeableness if you're working with things, and plasticity. Openness gives you creative achievement plus entrepreneurial ability, and extroversion is pretty good. We just published a paper using the creative achievement questionnaire, which I'll show you a bit later. And what we found was that openness was a very good predictor of creative achievement, but so was extroversion. So I think that's probably because if you're going to be an artist or a creative type, you better be a bit of a marketer. You know, because it's one thing to sit in your garret and paint things, but what'll happen is you'll starve to death, and then, 100 years later, someone will sell one of your paintings for $25 million, which is not very helpful for you. But if you're extroverted, you're going to get out there a bit and be enthusiastic about what you're producing, and maybe that gives you an opportunity to market it. We also know that openness and extroversion together make up plasticity, right? And plasticity actually seems to be a better predictor of creative achievement than openness per se. So, which is... there's several hundred people in this particular sample. So you guys know about this already. Extroversion is associated with happiness, optimism, enthusiasm, gregariousness, and assertiveness. Neuroticism, it correlates negatively with long-term life outcome a bit. It's not that powerful, but it's there. People high in neuroticism have a hard time with stress, so they can get... I think what happens with neuroticism is you pass a certain point of vulnerability. If you're too high in neuroticism and then some life event comes along that's just too much and it sucker punches you, and then that further destabilizes your nervous system, and you're kind of out of the game at that point. So if you're high in negative emotion, you want to, I would say, the first thing I would say is make sure you eat breakfast. Sounds like a weird suggestion, but I know from my clinical practice that if I can get my clients who are high in negative emotion to eat a decent breakfast that helps stabilize their nervous system throughout the day. You really got to watch yourself if you're high in negative emotion, because your stress tolerance isn't that great. So you might also want to not take like really, really stressful jobs, because they grind you down over time. So that's something to think about. So